Namaste. Welcome to Sacred Sunday Sadhana. Take some deep breaths. Be sure and breathe really deeply today to get to cool yourself down. It feels like summertime here in North Carolina. The magnolias are blooming. I wanted to talk today about self-care, about optimism as self-care. So settle in. If you're an optimist, or if you were at one point in your life, you've probably been made fun of. I know that as an eternal optimist, people have called me Pollyanna, and they don't mean that in a nice way. And they've called me having my head in the sand, or, oh, you don't want to hear about the news, you just want to hear about puppies and rainbows. Let's find you something like that. What else? That's enough. I think that some people are threatened by optimism because it scares them to think that if they were to let go of the fear and worry that they hold on to so tightly, that they'd lose some power over the situation. And the truth is that you have no control over the situation. Control is an illusion, and I've recently gotten back my optimism because for a long time, during this pandemic, it's been hard. It's been hard to find little things to be really happy about. But there's been so many great things about the pandemic, and in my opinion, 2021 has been even harder than 2020. Just as we reintegrate to the world and try to remember what a routine looks like, and try to just reestablish common sense and humanity, treating each other like humans and not like lepers. I had an excellent experience this weekend where on the way to Busch Gardens, my alternator did a thing that caused my battery to die, and I had to have my battery replaced and the alternator tested, all on the way to Virginia, and just so many kind strangers gathered to help. And then on the ride home, my back tire blew out, and again a kind stranger came and changed my tire for me. So it really restored my faith in humanity, and I, instead of saying like, oh, this was a shitty trip, like, oh, my car, money, all the things, instead I was so happy that how fortunate are we that my car wouldn't start at a gas station where there happened to be 5 people willing to help, than if we were at Busch Gardens and the car wouldn't start. That would have been a very different situation. It would have taken a lot more time, a lot more money. There would have been a tow truck involved. And then too, on the way home, yeah, my tire blew out, but it happened to blow out right the only place on the highway for miles and miles that happened to have a little gravel road pull-off, so that I could hobble for a couple of 100 feet into the gravel and pull my car off the highway, because no mechanic or emergency roadside service is going to change a tire on the side of the highway. They have to tow you, which is expensive and it takes time, and I'm just so lucky. I'm lucky that the right people are coming by at the right time, and the places in which these not disasters, but minor inconveniences took place were really a good time. So I got lucky. I got really lucky. And when I told a friend about it, he said, oh, you're unlucky. And I was like, no, I'm lucky. This is lucky. These things happen to everybody. It's only a matter of time, and I'm lucky that they happened when they did. And then I started thinking about always looking at the bright side, because even in the most dire times, even in the worst situation, there's a light side. And you might say, no, I can think of things where there's nothing good. I challenge you to try and think of anything that can happen, and there's always an upswing. That's what creates balance in the universe. That's what yin and yang are all about. Yin and yang literally translate as the dark side of a hill and the light side of the hill. So next time you're on the dark side of the hill, I encourage you to, I'm not saying that you stick your head in the sand. I think people who have not experienced true optimism seem to think it's fake, or they think that we are ignoring what's happening, but instead it's a total inclusion. It's like, man, this is happening. Here I am in the shady side of this hill, whether injury or illness, or I lost my job, or I have no money, or I've just been in a plane crash. There's the dark side, and we feel it. We feel it to heal it. We acknowledge what's happening, and we say, gosh, this is happening. But then the optimism comes in when you allow yourself to also see the flip side. So I lost my job. It's time for me to find a new career. This is an opportunity. I didn't lose my job, but if I had, I've just been in a plane crash. How much worse could it get than this? Like, what else could have happened? I survived a plane crash. That's pretty great. I'm going to write a book about it. I'm going to sell 1 million copies of this book because I survived a plane crash. Who else can say that? I did not. Again, just using it as an example. And when you're sick, it gives you a time to rest, gives you a time to appreciate wellness when it returns, gives you a time to reset your diet and lifestyle habits. So there's always, always, always a plus side. And I think choosing to be happy, I may have mentioned last week, I'm reading a book called Happy for No Reason. And choosing to be in that space of gratitude and love is self-care. It's wonderful for you. There are physiological effects of feeling gratitude. And there are physiological effects of feeling down in the dumps. So you can acknowledge what's happening and not stick your head in the sand about it. But then, you take control. So I said before, control is an illusion. Well, at least you can control your perspective, right? At least you can control how you want to feel. You can acknowledge that all of these things are happening and you feel this way, but then you can also find the sunny side of the hill. So can you? Can you find the sunny side of the hill? I just had a little argument with my partner. And I don't like to argue. I want it to be yippee skippy all the time. But the bright side of the hill is that we've made a breakthrough, and now we know that in order to communicate effectively, there's a couple of adjustments that needed to be made, and now we're aware of them. So we were on the dark side of the hill, but then we're flipping it around and seeing like, oh, okay, from now on we can move forward with this knowledge that we didn't have before, that we wouldn't have if we hadn't had this conversation. So it's like that. So if you've been an optimist who has been forced or even made the choice to become a pessimist or to stop looking on the bright side, I encourage you to pick it up again. Take care of yourself. Take care of how you feel. Can you be happy for no reason? Do you want to extend the quality of your life and extend the length of your life by choosing to feel good? You don't have to be down in the dumps, even if the worst circumstances keep occurring. There's always a bright side. There's always a yang to every yin. Take a moment and just breathe deeply. And I also wanted to chant with you for just a moment. This is, if you've done Kundalini, this is a chant that they do. It's really about finding the guru within yourself, letting yourself be the one who you look up to, basically. The one who you respect, and the one who you look to for answers is you. Let it come from your diaphragm. Ang Namo Guru Dev Namo. Ang Namo Guru Dev Namo. If there's any kind of negativity in your body, if something has just been said or felt, or any emotions that are not welcome are present, you can sing Ang Namo Guru Dev Namo, and it clears out. It's like smudging a room. It's like smudging your insides. So we'll do it once more. Ang Namo Guru Dev Namo. The optimist inside me sees the optimist inside you. Namaste.